Oh, hi there. As you can see, we are at stately Smith Manor, and I'm stoking the flames of discontent. Welcome to episode 21 of No Traps, No Glory. Today is brought to you by our usual beer, Kostritzer. It's delicious, nutritious, and provides a weightlifter with all the nutrients needed for success. Excellent. So, leading into today, I've had a few thoughts and a few discussions over time. Perhaps Mr. Producer can lend his omniscient brain to the matter. But as we've discussed, we haven't discussed it, so let us discuss it. So, athletes are, in society, in culture, I guess in pop culture as well, are always highly regarded. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, who else? Kobe. The list goes on and on. I don't need to try to name everybody because I'll be here until I die. But their achievements are never frowned upon, nor is their success. Even someone who has had, let's say, troubles that seem to manifest into the public eye and public sphere, like Tiger Woods, in the long run, it always seems that they can turn around and end up resurrecting themselves and coming back to a favorable point of view and a favorable perspective. Conversely, and let's say if you want to get into you could say the business side of things, or let's say I guess would you call them peers? Let's say peers, obviously not in the sporting realm, but in, let's say, a business realm, a technological realm, a productive realm. There are those who are, let's say, maybe employ the same amount of effort, the same amount of abilities, albeit in a different arena, no pun intended, and they're demonized. They're looked down upon for, or not necessarily looked down upon, but made out to be villains for their efforts in what they do. Let's take Bill Gates, for example, with Microsoft, or you could take Jeff Bezos with Amazon. And conversely, you have Michael Jordan, you have many other great athletes who have achieved a similar level of wealth, similar level of notoriety, but they're never looked down upon for what they do. And that's something that I think is worth examining and worth scrutinizing, because where is the difference? Where does the difference lie? Especially considering the fact that, let's say, the successes of Tiger Woods are directly to his ability, but also directly for him. Yes, he has brands. Yes, maybe he can take money and invest in things, but it doesn't increase the overall well-being of, let's say, society as a whole. People, or it enrich people in their lives or in their everyday lives, other than maybe the enjoyment of watching. Whereas, let's say, someone like Bill Gates or someone like Jeff Bezos, their creative abilities have led to the enhancement of everybody's lives, no matter where they are in the globe. They have far reach, not only in terms of creating jobs and employing others and having myriad other effects on the economy and enterprise, but as well as enriching daily activities of individuals, making their workday quicker, more productive, with greater ease, as well as, let's say, the internet, the rise of the internet and Microsoft. It's so many things that go in hand with this, but yet someone like that amassing a great fortune, or someone like Jeff Bezos who provides ease of service and obtainability of goods, again, is looked down upon for either not paying federal taxes, even though he takes his money and reinvests in thousands of jobs. I know over in the beginning, I believe it was the beginning of the pandemic, he was looking to open up a Amazon plant or factory, whatever they're called, in what is that, Middletown, I guess like Middletown area, whatever county that, Orange County, Ulster County, that would have employed anywhere from 800 to 1,000 workers. Now, here's a person whose individual ability allows him to immediately employ and give gainful employ, in that matter, to 800 to 1,000 people alone, let alone what he does globally. Whereas Michael Jordan's ability to play basketball enriches his employers, and enriches him directly. But the two are, one's demonized and one's looked at as a hero. And I think it's very interesting, and the why is the major point of all of this. So on the why, and why is it that, let's say, Kobe is looked at as being great, whereas, again, Jeff Bezos, another example, is looked at as being evil? And it's very interesting in the sense because both have immensurate ability and both have specific ability at the same time. But Kobe's ability is only directly, or was directly, I'm sorry, we all know, is directly to him and his ability to play basketball on a court, whereas Bezos' ability affects the lives of millions. So how is it and how can it be that the successful that actually enhance the well-being of the lives of people on the world and make the world a more accessible and better place are looked at as bad people, but yet someone with a particular individual ability within a very small realm, that realm of being sports, is highly lauded. So for average people, neither average people don't have or have not accessed these two abilities, but people love watching basketball players succeed. They love watching Jordan make records. They love watching Tiger Woods make records. How about John Elway? Could I say John Elway? That just popped into my head.
Sure.
Okay, John Elway, people love seeing him. Peyton Manning, everyone wanted to see him win a Super Bowl and his ability. But Bill Gates was looked at as a criminal, as a monopolist, as an evil capitalist. And it wasn't until he started his philanthropy exploits that he's now seen as a great and humble individual to mankind. When you could even say that the work that he does in his philanthropy does less for society than the work that he's done at Microsoft. I remember years back, I forget why, in terms of his productive capability, it was something to the effect that if he was walking down the hallway of Microsoft and $300 fell out of his pocket, it would cost him more to stop moving to pick up the $300 than it would if he just kept going and left it there. And I think that speaks volumes for what an individual like that is capable of doing for society. Whereas for Kobe, for Tiger Woods, it doesn't mean anything. Now, I guess that would lead into I guess would be a sin of envy. Whereas these people who are productive that change the world are envied, and because they're envied, people want to see them do poorly. They want to punish them. They want to take away their natural ability or inhibit their natural ability simply because they're jealous of what these people are capable of, even though they directly enhance their lives. Whereas, let's say, the very people who are envious and demonize these people are the very ones who do all their work through one of these and have really no direct relationship to a sporting realm, if that makes sense. Am I tying that in? Was that tied in? So, but okay, we'll bring it in right now. But at the same time, they'll watch basketball games, they'll watch baseball games, football games, and they'll adulate and love all these athletes. Let's say for the weightlifting world, everyone knew Ilya was on drugs. There's no way this guy's doing the stuff that he's doing prior to I guess that would be, when did he get caught? Like 2015 or 2016 when he got caught. Everyone knew that this guy had to be on more drugs than an entire hospital, but everyone wanted to see his success. They wanted to see bigger weights. No one wanted to see him fail. Now, why is there no envy here? Everyone wants to be like that, but they want to see him succeed, whereas, again, Bill Gates is demonized. Apple, oddly, Apple's not that demonized, are they?
Steve Jobs was not.
Yeah, Steve Jobs was not demonized, oddly. And why is that, Mr. Producer?
I do not know.
Yeah, very interesting. And he was not demonized, but yet he was. I would definitely say he's was an ardent capitalist, correct?
Yes.
And capitalism, as we all know, is highly demonized in today's society. Which that is the one thing that I have major points of contention with, and the reason I do is because no one understands what capitalism actually is, and everyone wrongfully exclaims what capitalism is not. For those, just a simple lesson, capitalism is a philosophical and economical treatise that exclaims the individual and private property. That is the fundamental baseline of that. An individual's ability to take private property and their own efforts to achieve whatever they want to achieve, and therefore move forward raising capital and however they want to apply their capital. It's not what we have in this country. This country, everything we have is state-controlled, state-run, mixed economy with elements of the free market. So whatever you hear people clamoring about as capitalism is not. It's actually the furthest thing from it. So too, on your economics lesson, large corporations and monopolies, as you see, can never be formed or would never happen in a truly capitalistic setting. Correct, Mr. Producer?
would be very hard.
Yes, it would be very hard because of the nature of competition. But going back to the athletic setting that we're talking about, competition is encouraged. Competition is wanted. You want to see the heroes of the competition setting in a sporting event succeed. You want to see those with the greatest ability triumph and achieve the greatest records, but they're not demonized. Whereas, what's that?
And get paid.
And they get highly paid. Michael, I actually I saw during the quarantine, Michael Jordan was selling his mansion for like, it was something crazy out in California, or I think California, wherever he is, for like $70 million or something like that. But no one ever demonizes him. And if it comes down to just the claim of paying taxes or not, that's a stupid argument. That because, again, that's just envy on those who have versus those who don't. But why is that? Why is it okay in a sports setting to have pure competition, to have those with ability rise to the top, but those who, let's say, entrepreneurs like myself, why is it evil if we want to expand our business, if we want to do more, especially if in the process we're helping more people? And as the larger you get, people or businesses and individuals of capability become to be looked at in a lesser and lesser favorable light. So I don't know if I necessarily have the answers to this. I think it's almost rhetorical, but it's something that we can try to analyze, try to see what may be favorable to finding an answer, and I think we can try to work from there. So I think one perspective that we can try to approach this from is that a lot of times when people clamor about the successful, is that, let's say, in relative to a sporting game, they want everybody wants it to be fair. Fairness is the key that everyone's going for. In a sporting event, so long as every athlete plays by the rules, then okay, competition is good. Those who are successful, those with abilities or better abilities will triumph, or better teams will triumph, whatever that may be. Whereas in the economic world, or the real world, if you want to call it, it's again, those who are demonize the successful a lot of times say, well, they want to pay your taxes. We don't want them to be taking advantage of other companies or taking advantage of people. They want them, again, to play by the rules. However, who is the arbiter of the rules and why? And especially, too, I would encourage people to stop and ask yourself, there is a big difference between rules of a sporting event and the rules of an economic system and the rules of how businesses apply themselves in the world. And ultimately, when companies, what makes not abiding by the rules? There are many standards that will hold that back. Or let's say one big thing is, let's say, dishonesty. They'll claim dishonesty and they want them to be fair producers, if you will. But ultimately, if a company does not do their job correctly, or they put out poor products, all you have to do is not buy that product. If the iPhone turned into where it was just constantly malfunctioning, constantly not working properly, the apps or the user interface was not as intuitive as, let's say, a competitor's phone, it would quickly get swallowed up. So the market will regulate itself if the market is indeed a free market. And those with ability know how to work through and push past that point of limitations to where they can thrive in, let's say, a said free market. So that way they, much like your sporting heroes, end up succeeding within the rules and confines of the game. Yes, you can bend the rules, as happens in most sporting games or athletic types events. I remember there was, in terms of bending the rules, NASCAR, years of, I don't know NASCAR. All I know is that the limitations on the fuel tank size for the cars were regulated to be, let's just say, 20 gallons. But there was nothing said about the amount of fuel line that you could have in the car. So one particular team, I don't know who it was, ended up running like 18 feet of fuel line, which equated to, let's say, 2 or 3 more gallons that they were able to hold on board on the car. So they played well within the confines, and that helped them win. But was it wrong for them to do so? I don't necessarily think not. I think that's creativity. And those with the most ingenious minds, those with the creative minds, those are the ones who are able to push forward. So again, those with the greatest athletic ability are the ones who are able to move ahead and have the greatest successes. So I would say, and this might be something that gets revisited over time with us here, because I think it's a deep and, I guess, very layered question to try to answer in one podcast of whatever duration that we are currently at right now. But is why do you feel a certain way, and to analyze why those ways are felt. Why is it that everybody loves to see someone do well versus they love to see companies fail or love to see those in business not triumph? And try to approach that to where, what would that be like if that was you? If it's, again, envy, I am firmly of the belief that all you have to do is try harder. Whatever your abilities are, or lack thereof, you can accomplish and make up through the amount of effort you're willing to put out and the hard work you're willing to put out. Your degree of success may vary, yes, but so long as you are giving the fullest of your efforts over duration of time, just like training, it's going to compound and you will get there. You will achieve the results that you want to achieve, and you will find success. So instead of demonizing those who you don't like, learn about them. Learn about who you envy. I read all the time about those who have been successful. I've read about Henry Ford and Rockefeller and Carnegie. I'm reading a good book on that now because I want to know what they did. Did they have extraordinary ability that I don't, or do they not? At the same time, Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods, they have incredible athletic ability, parallels of which I may never achieve. In the weightlifting world, I can scroll through my Instagram feed and just about everyone there has better ability than I have, but that doesn't mean that there are not realms that I can be successful at equivocal levels of success, maybe in a different realm than those. So envy is bad, individual effort is good, and we'll come back to this probably at a later date to refine these thoughts, and hopefully some viewers like to chime in and give some input as to whatever they think on their perspective, and
have them tell you why you're wrong.
And yeah, well, good luck. No.
Let them try.
Yes, but tell me why I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe I need a different perspective that I haven't thought of yet. Maybe there's something that a piece of the puzzle that I'm not seeing, that I'm overlooking, or maybe I'm just not wrong. That's the likelihood of things, is that I'm not. So we're going to go with that for now. But I'd like to give everybody else a chance to try to catch up to my exorbitant ability without envy. Yes. So from Stately Smith Manor at our Fireside chat. See everyone later.